Welcome. I'm Bev Adams. I own an independent paper crafting business showcasing products from Stampin' Up. I sell the products I used in this project and also a few items to make crafting more convenient. I'll have the free detailed directions for this project on my website. You'll see where to find that at the end of the video, so don't worry about taking notes. It's time to put stamps, ink, and paper together. I'm sharing this card in a swap with some other demonstrators, and we are all making projects with the Floral Essence stamp set. I think this stamp set is just gorgeous, and we're going to use almost all of the stamps in this set for this project. You can get Floral Essence as a bundle with this Perennial Essence Punch, and it also coordinates with the 1/2-inch circle punch, so we'll be using those. I'm calling this the Floral Essence Punch Happy card because I'm using lots of punches. I'm using the story label punch, the leaf punch, and the sprig punch. My cardstock is Blackberry Bliss. I have a piece of Mossy Meadow. This is 8.5 by 1 3/4. I have a piece of Petal Pink that's 8.5 by 2.5. I have a very thin strip of sparkle glimmer paper that's 1/8 by 5.5 inches long. I also need another piece of the glimmer paper, and this is cut at a very specific width. It is 1 1/16, and I'm only going to need just a little tiny bit. A piece of the Perennial Essence Designer Series paper. This paper is so beautiful. It has all these floral, pondy, just artistic looking papers, and then on the back are more subtle, I think, background images, and the one we're using is this one, and this is 2 by 5.5. And I have a piece of Whisper White for the inside of the card, 5 1/4 by 4. And one more thing, I have a piece of the scalloped lace trim. The catalog says this is very vanilla, and I can see a little bit of very vanilla in it, but it's also got some Whisper White in it too on the edges, so I think it works great for either one. I'm going to start off by adhering my Designer Series paper. My friend Karen would really prefer if I mentioned in every single video that I store my multi-purpose liquid glue tip down. I usually use a little candle jar or anything that will hold it tip side down, and I'm putting this right up against the fold. I have my skinny piece of the glimmer paper, and I am going to tuck this right up against the Designer Series paper. I'm going to put some adhesive, and I want to be sure to have it all the way at the top, right up against that glimmer paper, because this is actually, I normally wrap ribbons and trims around, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to cut it straight. This lace does not fray, and so I don't have to worry about that. And I notice that these scallops are right about 5.5 inches from scallop to scallop. So next is my card inside. I don't think I told you about my inks. I'm using Mossy Meadow, Crushed Curry, and Blackberry Bliss, and a little bit of Winkostella. I have positioned these leaves on my stamp pad to go around this flower, and probably the easiest way to position it is to stamp it on scrap paper and then lay these leaves right next to where you want them. Now these leaves are positioned perfectly, and I want them down at the bottom of my inside of my card. And I'll go ahead and stamp the flower. I think this flower would be perfect on your envelope, so I might as well stamp that while I'm at it. And we can go ahead and put this on the inside of the card. This is adhesive of your choice. I tend to use the multi-purpose liquid glue for anything that needs precise positioning, because you have a little bit of time to move it around. Plus, I think it's the cheapest adhesive that we offer. Okay, now we're going to work on the flowers for the front. We need 2 sprig punches, and I'm going to put those from the ends. So I've cut this paper so it all fits easily, but I want to get those out of the way before I start stamping. I'm going to stamp this leaf 2 times. You could do more if you want. Let's do 3 just because. And I don't think the catalog mentioned that this coordinates with the leaf punch perfectly. And then I'm going to use the larger flower that's kind of solid. And I want this very light. Blackberry Bliss is a very dark ink. I'm going to stamp it off 2 times. And then once on the end here. And then right over that, I'm going to stamp my greeting, "All days are beautiful that begin with you." And I'm punching that out with my story label punch. I just want a tiny bit of the glimmer paper on the ends of this label. Now I could punch the whole punch out and cut it out, but I'm going to actually punch just a little bit. Now that 1 1/16 should fit right between this and this. And then I'm going to repeat, and I just need a little bit for the end. So, 1/4 of an inch is more than you need. And then I'm going to use glue dots to hold that glimmer paper down. So we just need a tiny little bit. And I guess we might as well put that on our card front with a couple of dimensionals. I am putting my dimensionals on just as an extra something to hold that glimmer paper together. I'm putting this on the bottom right corner. I need 6 flowers. Because this punch has the 2 flowers on the bottom, that's the way I want to stamp it here as well. And I've got the crushed curry. I think I was supposed to stamp the crushed curry on the inside of the card. And crushed curry there. And there's a flower center that's a circle, and we need 3 of these. And we'll go ahead and punch out all of these. And I'm going to punch out these centers with a 1/2 inch punch. Next, I'm going to use a sponge dauber to sponge all of these flowers. And if you sponge down the middle, it's really easy to sponge all of these. Next, I want to add a little bit of texture. To do this, honestly, my favorite is the accent highlighter. This is an old highlighter. I don't even know if it's got any ink in it, but I love the tip on here because it's pointed without being sharp. But if you take this off and swap it out for the larger embossing tip, that will work, or the bone folder. And what we're going to do is we're going to rub from the tip of the flower to the center. And we're just going to be adding a little bit of texture. And it curls it right up. So and I'm kind of tipping my bone folder till it gets to the point where I like the way it moves across the cardstock. It actually is better if you do it more than one time, and that gets some really nice texture. Let me show you this one. I find, like I said, I find this works nicely. Try your Stampin' Up! Tools, but look around your kitchen or your desk drawer and see if you can find something that's smooth and has kind of a tip to it. And I think you'll find something. And we want to texturize these too. So I'm putting my dot stamped side down, and I'm just drawing a circle with my favorite tool and making a little bowl shape. Take your pick tool can do this nicely too. And I'll swap back to my pointy tool that I find helpful for the dimensionals. These little mini dimensionals are perfect size for this. And then I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to each of the flower petals. And then we're ready to assemble. My first sprig will be going right over the label. My other sprig will be up this way, and I want to pull the eye up towards this upper left corner. So that will end up close to this side. I want to put this leaf so that it's so that the base is at the center, sort of near the sprig, and it's pointing up to the upper right corner. And I want to put this one so it kind of lines up with the glimmer paper here, and this stem is pointing toward that one. This one's an extra one. I will be putting one flower here, one flower here, and one flower here. So I think I'll put this one here and kind of tuck the end under the label. I want to be sure and cover up all the leaf bases, and so this one covers up 3 all by itself. This one I want the petals to be toward this label, and then kind of filling in this section up here. And then a little bit more in the center, and then the second set of petals goes right on top, but I want to alternate the petals. Then we want to add the flower centers, and that's it. Here's the web address for this project where you'll find the free detailed directions and links for the products I used. Just click the links and you'll be taken to my online store at Stampin' Up! Click Home near the top of my page and you'll find lots of resources. Under Shop, I have tips for online shopping, frequent shopper rewards, and products I offer to help you stay organized. Share my Evernote notebook for a nominal contribution. It functions as a fully searchable catalog. I offer a cardstock sampler, taggers to help you identify those dies with lots of similar shapes, heavy-duty bags to store 12 by 12 and 6 by 6 paper, and a bow maker. Inspiration takes you to all my projects. If you're new to stamping, you might want to look at the basics. You'll find how to cut card bases and layers, what's special about Stampin' Up! Stamps, and some of my favorite tools. Under Organization, you'll find catalog tabs, labels, and case inserts, a practically free stamp pad storage solution, a basic toolkit, color charts by alphabet, color family, and rainbow order, products by color, and RGB codes, and you can take a tour of my craft wall. More organization means more time for crafting. Come stamp with me here in Ventura County, California, or get the best deal of all and join my team of crafters. The team is called SIP Together, and it stands for Stamps, Ink, and Paper Together. The team is made of crafters who want to save money on the products they buy, share with a few friends, or to grow a business like mine. Be sure to subscribe to my website and on YouTube. I'd love to hear your comments. Thank you for joining me. Talk to you soon. Bye.